or someone hurts me or does something to me, it rolls off my shoulders pretty easy. If somebody comes to me and says, hey, will you forgive me for what I did to you? I'm gonna forgive them and say, girl, come on, let's move on. We get this all right. I'm wired that way. I'm easygoing. But if I find out, I'm saying don't get it twisted. If I find out that someone's been scheming, that's a whole different story. Because scheming implies pre-planning. If you've been scheming against me, that means you've been watching for a little while. You've been trying to figure out what it is about me that is most weak, most frail, most vulnerable so that you can take advantage of me. You've been studying me to find out what my patterns are and what the predilection of my flesh is.
What's up, all of my divine loves and my divine lovettes? I love you guys. I love you guys. You guys already know. Today is Sunday, the fun day, the day away from Monday. It is April 20. The higher realms favor, plenty right now. It is 4:55 in the PM. It is time for positive movement. A lot of you guys are ending cycles, at this time. But the bottom line is what I'm seeing right here, right now, is a powerful cycle has also ended. It was a stable, um, functioning, and able whole slew of individuals who were planning to basically take over planet Earth. You know, um, Now, how are you going to take over something in which you didn't give birth and you have no right that you did not create? Anywho, you better get in line and wait. But the bottom line is someone else is more delusional than you. But the bottom line is what I see here is that I was in here minding my business, neither looking nor to the left nor to the right. You know what I'm saying? The higher realms came in this download, right? And the download came at 4:49. All right. Yeah, it's time for people to be spiritually awakened and aligned to their abundance. Okay. This is who you guys are in every way. And I'm talking directly to my 144 crew of the day because a lot of you guys are here for that reason. You know, it's not by circumstance or accident or coincidence that we are all on one accord at this time whenever you're hearing this, even though you guys are not going to hear it at the same time because they've been trying to block this spiritual line. And the more and more people are learning that they have no actual power, and that whatever message they're feeding themselves are sublime, they'll learn to stand back and just get in line, okay? Because someone really, you know, has befooled you, and you guys too are delusional. But the bottom line is, look, the message that I received is a download, and the download said, just like they have certain businesses that prefer that you guys can pay a crowd of people to come to and things of that nature, like crowdfunding and stuff like that. Like maybe, certain artists may pay certain people, the crowd around them and act like, this, that, and the third and stuff like that. But the bottom line is, as well as they have those, fundings of crowded of people, these people actually make a living that way. They also have crowdfunding for gang stalking, right? And that's what, crowdfunding for flying monkeys, crowdfunding for these, all these people are a part of that same said thing. So you may look around and be like, oh, is your name so and so? Oh, you look just like so and so. That may be so and so. Okay. I'm not even going to lie to you in any way. You know what I mean? You know how you see somebody, you be like, oh, yeah, you got a twin out here. That is not that person's twin. That person is who they are from without and within. Okay. So a lot of people are part of these crowdfunding, gang stalking type of situations here at hand. And I heard baby stalking. I don't know what that is. They start, some of these people start early in their life, you know, is what I'm getting. So, anywho, it's a group of gang stalkers that's definitely paid, but it's crazy because their brain is slayed. They really, the reason that this started is because these people were genuinely trying to take over Earth. They wanted to be a part of the statistics in some way, shape, form, or fashion. So if you remember how before you know it, we were known as peaceful Negro Americans. That once upon a time, the word was Negro, it was Negro, it was that because of the land that was owned and stuff like that. And because of that, they try to change it to another level of something that brings confusion, which is the black. So when you say black, you're saying lack. You take the B off of that, you're saying lack. So you're not black, you are lack, right? So before that, we were of another, predominant name, which was Negro. And Negro meant something back then in the day because Negro owned the land that they live on. They owned money. They had money and things of that nature. So now they place that word lack in there, but put a B in front of it to make you think that you are black. But the more you say it, the sound and the enunciation is lack, right? Pronunciation. So the bottom line is this: what's happening here is they were trying to take over. So now, when you see these people, and they're not of the original people of those other, Negro people that were really trying to start movements of peace, and Nobel Prize peace winners and things of that nature. So, excuse me. And you know that of people are the people I'm talking about, the people who were very nice and nourishing and non-violent as so, you know what I mean? So what happened is that race of people really did try to incorporate something because they seen it before it happened. However, we took it as racism, as this, that, and the third, as we took this as, oh, the older generation is not, yeah, they're not aware. They're just not this, they're not. They were aware more than you could ever dare. You know what I mean? Because they prepared us for this spiritual war in times of spiritual peace. They told us back then to, quote unquote, and this is no shade to anyone, to not mix seeds because it would be uh, atrocity at that time. They said that we could do certain things, but the point is do not mix seeds. And what that meant is, you could date a person of another race. And it wasn't the other race that they were concerned about. It was a specific type of energy that could specifically work through a group of situation to, you know, um, not only mimic you, however, demise you, a whole slew of you. So the bottom line is a whole that could wipe out a whole generation of you. So the bottom line is it was the thing that I kept on constantly hearing, and I know I'm not alone, as a former, elder, or, an elder back in the day, a former youth back in the day. And they would say, okay, well, you could play around. However, you cannot mix seeds. Now, that struck for a lot of the other generation that came behind it. Oh, you're racist. Oh, no, no, we were just saying something, preparing you guys for this very day, this very time where they were sending the sublime. So if you were against your own kind, then that means you were ready. You know what I'm saying? You were ripe and ready, to lack and steady. So when that word black came out, the B in front of it is just basically silent because it's saying lack, in every way. So what I see is, in its entirety, the higher realms gave me this download to let you guys know that these people were we're trying to change the statistics of this earth in some way, shape, form, or fashion so that they can somehow enjoy the pleasures of becoming the majority. Okay? Because these people were very few. They were a minority. However, they could only, plant seeds or mix seeds to become a majority, right? So that was what the higher realms was sharing with me. And it's so funny because the higher realms, like like I told you guys, if you guys look at a previous video that I wrote, a lot of you guys need to know that, there's a lot of different entities here from other areas, and some of them are aggressive more than others, and some of them just can't sit back and let the respect uh, grow, for what has already been planted, grounded and rooted, by our ancestors and so forth, and that we know. So these other people infiltrated, and the only way they could infiltrate is to uh, co-create a new word, okay, that created some level of lack, in which they did. Because if you constantly say, I'm Black, then nobody knows what the heck you're talking about. Because to her knowledge, she's Black. To his knowledge, he's Black. However, what is Black? All right. This is something that someone created so you guys could stay in lack. That's why you always see somebody with their hands behind their back saying that, they're writing the paperwork stating that this is a Black, this is a Black, this is a Black. So what is going on right now is the higher realms is cracking up at all these foods because this is all of this has abruptly come to a fast halt in because they got stopped right in the middle of what they were doing. And some of them actually know not what they do because they were actually, like I said, just in the pot cooking like a stew. You know what I'm saying? They really did not. So the bottom line is this, you guys. The higher realms are somewhere laughing because the higher realms said they really thought that they could take over what the higher realms made like a four-leaf clover. This was for us. You know what I'm saying? And what I mean by us is the original Earth's people, right? And it was created by, guess what? Not a majority, of what they think a majority is. It was made and created by one, right? The one, the one who has all power, right? Which is the real majority. So so the higher realms was showing me that the higher realm, because the higher realm got a sense of humor, so the higher realm gonna tell me the joke. So the higher realm was cracking up, like, look at these fools. They really think they're the majority because they run around like, multiplying and multiplying. And guess what? It's only one majority, and that is the one that has all power. So you better step back and recognize, you know, the real spiritual seniority is what I'm hearing. So that's the download I received, you guys. I love you guys from the door to the floor. Need I ever say more? Keep doing what you guys are doing. You know what I'm saying? If the higher realms give me more, I give it straight directly to you. And much respect and love and strength and light to the 144 crew. Keep doing what you guys do. This is where we must part ways. If life lasts and death pass, you will see or hear me again. Until then, Paul A, peace be unto you and within.